Look, guys, if we're going to be a dumpster fire, at least let's find ways to be a funny dumpster fire. And that is exactly what's going on with the Jaguars right now, as more and more stuff about Urban Meyer is really starting to kind of show its face in the public. You know, we've had really since day one just all kinds of weird missteps from Urban Meyer. The one where I was most alerted was really with the whole James Robinson dealing over there. And then shortly after that, Tom Pelissero kind of dropped some stuff about Marvin Jones getting in a heated shouting match kind of with Urban Meyer. And then a lot of people in the locker room aren't taking Urban Meyer seriously. Urban Meyer is calling everybody losers. And most recently, finally, a player kind of went out there and said something against Urban Meyer. And it wasn't anybody that was actually on the team, but it was former kicker Josh Lambo, of all people. Obviously, he had a pretty good Jaguars career up until 2021, where he was just kind of struggling on his kicks. But it came out that, Urban Meyer and him had a weird relationship. And before the Dallas Cowboys game, he was warming up pregame. And Lambo said that he was in a lunge position, left leg forward, right leg back. And then Urban Meyer, while he was stretching, said, "Hey, dip, make your effing kicks," and kicked him in the leg. This is crazy, man. Our head coach is going out there kicking people. And apparently, Josh said something back to him, and you guys can read the whole article. It was from the Tampa Bay Times. I'm not going to kind of read through this whole thing, but he was basically saying, "Look, I'm the head coach. I can talk to you the way I want." When Josh Lambo kind of says, "Don't ever kick me again." You know what I mean? And obviously, Urban Meyer kind of refuted it and stuff like that. And then, just this whole entire back and forth kind of rivalry went on, and it just kind of adds on to the whole laughingstock that Urban Meyer kind of is right now amongst, and some people were out here kind of saying, it's not true. No one's going out there and backing it. Look, people within the organization are going to come out right now. But look, where there was so much smoke all around the building, you just don't see the fire yet. And the fire is there. Even Marvin Jones came out to the media today, and he did not really back up the coach. He just said, "Look, we had adult conversation, and that was kind of the end of it." So I don't know what else to say, man. Obviously, I want the Jaguars to fire him sooner rather than later, and I believe it's going to happen. I've kind of been saying that. I mean, as much as we all discredit Shad Khan for what he's doing, he can't possibly keep a coach like this around. It's just, how is any coach going to want to come here? How is any player going to want to come here? And then Shad Khan expected more wins, flat out. But this has been a complete dumpster fire. And honestly, shame on him. Shame on him for firing Urban Meyer. I know guys like me were excited to kind of get Urban Meyer, but I don't have a lot of connections out there. You know what I mean? Like, if Shad Khan really dug in and did his research, he would have found out a lot of bad stuff about Urban Meyer. It probably wasn't hard to find. A lot of players now on Twitter, former players from Urban Meyer, are kind of putting out there saying, okay, karma's catching up to him. And, one former Gator player said that he was throwing Gatorade bottles at players. You know what I mean? All this stuff is coming out. And I'm surprised Urban Meyer was kind of able to keep this under wraps as much as he did. Everybody kind of knows that he was an asshole. We all kind of knew that. But we said, look, he's a coach, whatever. He's a tough guy, this and that. But man, for how much of a real jerk he is, man, it was, it wasn't this public. But now it's kind of all out there. So from Urban Meyer, from really just his on-field stuff, I mean, obviously we're 2-11. We're terrible. We have a terrible record. To him in press conferences where he either is lying or he just doesn't know. It doesn't seem like he doesn't inspire like Trevor Lawrence will come out there and have a bad game. And you hear him in a press conference and say, he's got the right head on his shoulders. He knows what to do. We're going to be all right with this guy. Urban Meyer gives you no confidence. I mean, like I said, I stopped watching press conferences. I kind of take what people say on Twitter because I can't take it, man. I love this team so much. I want us to be successful. I cannot sit here and say, this is the leader of my team. He goes out there, doesn't know any answers. doesn't know his own players, doesn't know the Arizona Cardinals or the Arizona Cardinals thinks of the Phoenix Cardinals, all this stuff, man. And, I tried to defend this guy all the way through, but it just got to a point where it was like, look, I can't possibly defend this anymore. Obviously, you don't want to go out there and bring a coach in for 1 year, then fire him. Obviously, that's bad optics. But when players or when new coaches come in here, look at the situation, they're going to understand, look, it's Urban Meyer. We all know how much of a dumpster fire this was. It wasn't like, Gus Bradley's first year when he came in, it was a terrible roster. Then it wasn't like that. Obviously, Urban Meyer and the NFL coaching circle is very small. People talk. They all know how much of a train wreck this really is. So, at this point, I think Shad Khan's trying to find ways to get him out of here without really paying whatever buyout is out there. Urban Meyer's contract is not public, but it's a lot of money. I think that's one thing that a lot of people know, that it is a lot of money. So Urban Meyer with this Josh Lambo stuff, look, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty ridiculous. It's a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit funny to me just reading it. It's just like more and more stuff comes out about this guy, and all you can do is laugh. You know what I mean? All you can do is laugh, and, these stories come out. I'm not even surprised by this. You know what I mean? I'm not even surprised by this, but I don't know. We'll see how many more players come out and say stuff. I know former players have come out. No one specifically on the Jaguars has come out and said anything. Oh, man, but it's crazy right now. It is Urban Meyer has been such a train wreck, and us as fans, we might want to say, we might yell at our TVs at stuff like this about Lambo when he's missing kicks, but it's just it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know what else to say. Obviously, Urban Meyer's days are numbered. It'll be real telling. I don't know if he's going to be here on Sunday coaching here, but if he is, Jaguars are 3-point favorites over the Texans. If we go out there and lay an egg against the Texans, a team that was terrible, had a terrible offseason, has a terrible roster, a team that we haven't beat since 2017. Look, we're going to have to snap this at some point, man. But that's also a division rival. It's just like, talk about being the doormats of the AFC South. Even when there's terrible teams in the AFC South, we're still doormats. So that's going to be, Urban Meyer's supposed to be right now game planning for the Texans. But I don't know if he is right now, man. I don't know what kind of game plan he's putting in. So it's crazy, man. But optics, whatever. We hit, we missed. Let's move on. Get our next coach. But all right, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts of the Lambo stuff down below. Oh, man. And with all that said, go Jags.